I, 24 meters, may have, need to stress may have, knocked up my ex, 23F. Can I just tell her to leave me the duck alone, or do I have to play nice? This is a bit of a complex situation here. I am the ex-boyfriend, 24/M. She is the ex-girlfriend, 23/F. We were together between January 2011 August 2012. I am no longer with her, but we maintained a FWB relationship until sometime in December. Not normal, I know, but it happened. Let me first describe my ex. She is an incredibly emotional person, who panics at everything, and is constantly enshrined in some drama. She has been the other woman to married guys on multiple occasions in her past. She has cheated on every one of her boyfriends, myself included. She slept with me the first time we hung out. She is at the same time a pretty sweet girl, who does try to be everyone's friend, and she can be caring and loving. But just not very loyal and committed. She was timiding a guy over this past summer, who she had previously slept with when we were on a break, so I just decided to end it. I was tired of her bullshit. We tried to be friends post-breakup and she wouldn't let me move on really. We were having unprotected time even after we broke up, which was monumentally stupid. So about 10 days ago she tells me she is pregnant. I'm not particularly thrilled because she was allegedly on hormonal birth control, and I know her past and I have strong doubts it's mine. I asked her to prove it, and she did. So she is pregnant and the timing makes it possible that it's mine. Maybe even likely. She swears it's mine, but I may be the only guy who would even care, so she told me. I don't know. I've grilled her on things and she is insisting to the point of tears that it's mine. I've been pretty blunt with her. Get an abortion. I've literally sent that as a text to her, when she bothers me. Because now is not the time for a baby for either of us, and she is not the woman I want to have my children. She seemed like she would just have the abortion early on, but she isn't taking any steps towards that and tells me ducking weird things like maybe this was meant to be. So anything could happen. I know the obvious of paternity test if she keeps it, but I really don't want to deal with this bullshit. I kind of feel like chewing her out and saying we are over, and to have her handle this on her own. Because she is really killing me. I'm really busy now working on grad school applications, and I don't have time for this. And I don't want to have a kid, or go through a pregnancy, and definitely not with her. I'm not sleeping with her, nor do I have any desire to ever do so again. I am so over her emotionally. I feel like she has been a drain to me, and I need to put her in my rear view. TL, doctor may have knocked up my ex, while we were FWB. Don't know if it's my kid, she says it is. Don't want to be with her and told her to have an abortion. She has not had it yet, and almost seems like she might keep it. Don't know what to do, and really want to just end everything with her and let her figure it out on her own. Would that be that bad? I feel like this is my life at risk. P.S. If this isn't the right subreddit, I'm sorry. Just tell me where I need to post or cross-post. Comment 1. Get a paternity test. An intrauterine test would be nice, so you know sooner, but they do carry some risks and about $2,000 in extra costs, probably not something you're going to be able to insist on. Obviously, there's some bias in your post, but some of the specific behaviors and comments you call her out on making are very typical behaviors of someone looking for a patsy to pay for their kid and the rest of their life. Before the rest of your life is ruined, and honestly, if this is your kid, the rest of your life is probably ruined. For some definition of ruined, you need to know this, ASAP. Hopefully, it's not your kid. If it is, well, not everyone gets to have the life they wanted. Don't foist the problems your sperm created onto society. Unwanted children raised by single parents are statistically more likely to turn to crime, drugs, etc. Be a father, which unfortunately means that your psycho ex pretty much owns you, but if it's your kid, she pretty much owns you anyway, so the key is to take solace in the kid. He or she might be the only good thing in your life for the next 20 years or so. And if it's not your kid, well, I hope we learned a valuable lesson about unprotected time with crazy people. Comment 2. Everyone has piled onto you, so there's no point doing more of the same. What I think it's fair to acknowledge is that this is a huge, life-changing event, due to a mistake you made, that you now have no control over. You feel rage and anger and fear and grief. Those feelings are valid. They're not noble or kind or mature, but they're valid. Your situation reminds me of a young person that gets drunk and drives or falls off a building, ending up paraplegic or tetraplegic. Or kills someone. One foolish, youthful act in their whole life as they knew it, and as they had planned it, is over. They can still go to college, still date, but it will never be the same. They will always be a disabled person, or carry the memory of their dead friend with them forever. Just as, assuming this pregnancy is yours, and it is carried to term, you will always be a father. It's going to affect you for the rest of your life. It's going to restrict your 20s, and be a pressure on all future relationships. Except being a father can be wonderful. Being disabled is never a prize. No one ever looks back and thinks, I'm glad I drunk and drove and crashed, but many people look back and think, although I regret the circumstances, I am so glad for my child. So yes. Rage against the unfairness that you were the one that got caught, so to speak, when thousands of other foolish young people get away with it. Mourn the things you would have had. The freedoms and lack of responsibilities. And then start planning. Plan a way that you can still complete your studies, which is very important for your future earnings chances, even if it's by online study or going to a different college than you planned. Plan a way that you can perhaps travel with your buddies one day. You may have to save up more to cover child payments, but you can still do it. Don't trash talk your ex. Remember that you wrote this about her. She is at the same time a pretty sweet girl, who does try to be everyone's friend, and she can be caring and loving. She has good qualities, and she may be a better friend and co-parent than she was a girlfriend. Another reason not to trash talk her is that you want your parents to like her, so you get maximum help and support from them, and likewise you want her parents on board. And then remember that this is a child, not a permanent disability, not a bereavement, not a lost limb, not a terminal illness, not a chronic disease or HIV. It's still something good. It's not like cancer, where you fight it, and spend the rest of your life in remission, knowing it might pop up again. The hardest part is over, and assuming you do a good job of parenting, it gets better and better. Comment 3. Wow. You are a real piece of work. So the first time you hung out, she slept with you, so that reflects poorly on her character, but not on yours. You agree not using a condom is stupid, but are completely unwilling to take personal responsibility for it. You say she's crazy, but you voluntarily stuck your dick inside of her for 2 ducking years. The advice I want to give you right now isn't particularly constructive or helpful, so I will keep it to myself. I will just say that based on your attitude posting in this thread, I hope she takes you to the ducking cleaners, and that kid beats the odds and grows up to be well-adjusted and successful. Comment 4. Welp, you're up a creek without a paddle here. A lot of other people are saying some pretty harsh things here, and I don't feel the need to add to that. I will say this though. Think about the relationship you've had with your father. Was he a kind man? Did he take you out and do things with you? Has he taken care of you and expressed support in you? Have you felt grateful for this? Have you loved him? If you've had a shitty father, have you ever looked at good fathers of friends or relations? Have you ever seen a dad holding his little girl and telling her he loves her and would she like some ice cream? Just don't tell mommy, bwahaha? Have you seen a dad hold his son after he fell down and tell him that it's going to be okay? Have you seen these things and wished you had them? Whatever the case is for you. If you've had a good dad or a bad one, look at your words here. You are denying a person you probably made that because you are a selfish asshole. If you had a good dad, imagine what it would feel like if he had said the things you have said here. My mom had a dad like you want to be, the shitty deadbeat kind. I've seen firsthand how damaging it is. She is 60 years old now and she still gets teary-eyed about it. Realize that the consequences of this are going to be lifelong for both you, your possible child, and your ex. Even if you abandon your child and just pay child support, consider that at 40 you may be regretting having a son or daughter who gives no shits about you and want back in their life. We've had posts of that nature on here and they are heartbreaking, but I wonder how many of those estranged fathers thought like you are now. Your child is going to grow up knowing that you abandoned them and that is going to change them. Their childhood, their life, is going to be darker for it. Your ex is going to be raising a kid on her own and it is going to be hard. She's going to be more run down and less kind, and your kid is going to spend more time alone. All these things have lasting impacts on people and you need to think about that long and hard. If she has this kid and it's yours and you abandon it, as all your posts suggest you will do, realize that this isn't going to be something you can take back, ever. Comment 5. I understand you are terrified. I would be too. And angry, and frustrated. I get that. But these feelings are not serving you in any way. It's time to change the way you think. You need to stop focusing on what you want and start focusing on what you have the power to do. Circle of control, it's how adults think. The abortion is completely outside your circle of control. Whether that is right or wrong and how that makes you feel is irrelevant. What matters is that you can't change it. And you need to accept that. You need to accept that it is highly likely that this child is yours and therefore highly likely that you will be paying child support at the very least. I get that you're in shock. But this is your life. Once you accept this, you will feel a lot better. Comment 6. Too bad, buddy. You can tell her whatever you like about getting an abortion, but that is not your choice at all. You worried about how this might screw up your future plans. Well, that's tough. You should have thought about that before having unprotected time. When you did that, you took the risk, and if that baby is yours, then you might not have to be there for it. But you better be ready to pay for it. Suck it up and don't be an asshole to her. She might sleep around, but I wouldn't be surprised if you've got a problem or two of your own. Comment 7. You can't and shouldn't force her to have an abortion. You shouldn't even try. Babies happen when you have unprotected time. If she has this baby, and it is yours, which can't be determined until after it's born, you can't just put her in your rear view. You took the risk of having unprotected time, now you need to man up and deal with the consequences. Comment 8. So admittedly, you're telling this woman to abort a fetus you're not even sure you helped make. Cut that shit out. If it's yours, then you're only creating resentment and drama that will last literally the rest of your life. If it's not yours, it's not your business whether or not she has an abortion. Treat her like a human being until the baby comes, then get a paternity test and go from there. Comment 9. My first reaction was like everyone else's, but I guess what's the point of that? This guy sounds like he's going through the anger and denial phase of bereavement, and in some senses he is. All he can do is look forward and try to make the best of things. At least the baby's mother is a sweet woman, if troubled. He's actually very lucky there. Comment 10. In many states, if you go to graduate school, your advanced degree will be taken into account when the courts decide child support. They base it off what they feel you should be making. You can get a modification order, but that takes time and you'll be on the hook until the order is cleared. If you ever fall behind, you'll be arrested and jailed. It's pretty much a form of indentured servitude. The only way to possibly avoid it is to expatriate. Thanks you for watching Everyday New Movies. See you soon.